Hi, welcome to Ranch of Blessings. I'm Zita. No! Yeah, it's just me today. Ada actually ended up moving to Mars with the Elon Musk program. Now they're a filthy, filthy capitalist. No, but we decided to do this thing where we record our own speed paints for once and just commentate on our own. I don't know why. This means that I'm gonna be the only one laughing at my jokes. And this is a horrible plan for me, but I'm sure it might be really fun for someone who hates one of us and likes the other one. We'll see. But no, sadly, Ada has passed my house to go buy a boat and has now drowned in the money that they got from investing in the boat and crashing the stock market. So they don't have time for me, and it's ridiculous, honestly. Like, I moved to Chicago, and they didn't want to move with me, so now we live in two separate places? Ridiculous. But enough of that. Enough of spending time talking about how much we miss a filthy capitalist like Adelaide. Let's talk about what I'm doing here. And what I'm doing right now and right here is I'm going to be showing you my final for my comics art class that I took this spring. I want to talk about ways you can support us outside of this YouTube channel. As you can see, we don't post. We really do not post. And we want to keep posting, but it's very hard when we're both having a job and like trying to make money, as well as being full-time students in school. So if you want to support us in any way, so hopefully we don't have to have that job, so that this can be our hobby fully. Check out our Instagrams, check out our other art accounts. We got some pretty cool stuff coming out. Follow us and find out ways that you could support us. And if you can't support us monetarily, which is very, very reasonable, make sure to check out like our art accounts and stuff. You might like what you see if you like our show. We're pretty funny on other places too. But yeah, let's get started. So speaking of deltarune, I am actually eating spaghetti right now. I want you to hear it. Oh, it's so good. The spaghetti. Oh, Ada's gonna be so mad at me. So mad at me when they see this video. But let me talk what I'm doing here. I was thumbnailing a few sketches about what I want to do. Originally, I wanted to have Susie and Kris falling into the closet and transforming. But then I realized that I just don't want that because I want the happy good times. So I'm switching between thumbnailing that and then thumbnailing the idea of like Kris and Susie and Rouse and Lancer, and I think I threw Noelle in there, like hanging out, but I'm so indecisive that it's kind of a problem. But I mean, I kind of really like the thumbnails looking back on it, and I might like go back and have that be its own thing, maybe less developed. As you'll see, I spend quite a lot of time rendering everything. But then I thought of this like Beatles-esque like walking like quest party thing where the three main characters could be on the front, and then the three characters that kind of like join the party as the story goes on will be on the back side of the cover. And my teacher ended up liking that one the best. But yeah, it was really fun personally figuring out what I wanted these characters to like really be like. Like, because they're kind of just pixels on a screen, you just kind of have to, like, infer what you feel like they would, like, look like, and there's no right or wrong answer. These are just my ideas. So, as you see, I go back to that idea for a little bit. It's a funny thing, but I don't know about, like, a comic cover. Maybe eventually, but then I switch back to oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so indecisive. Let me just make more spaghetti noises near you. Does that do anything for you? ASMR! The flavors are melting in my mouth. So, I did the thumbnail sketch, and I'm going over and I'm doing the secondary sketch, and kind of what I like doing here with multiple sketch layers is I'm taking time to really like solidify the lines that I do like in the thumbnail, and going in and adding like more details that I think would go with it, because obviously you didn't see the teeth and the freckles in the thumbnail sketch. And I think this is I don't know, I'm like self-taught for 5 years. This is my first time in a professional art school for specifically like this kind of art. I did production design for a while at an art school. But like something that I learned is that like these sketches, the reason why these sketches help, at least for like digital art, is like you're making like broad gestures, and in there's a solid line that you're gonna like, and it's all about just going through and pulling that line out and finding what you really want. And for me, at least, like God bless all of the artists that can just like start drawing with lines. Ada is one of those artists, TBH, but it's kind of like I need to like sculpt it out of the sketch, and I don't see myself being very different for like for a long time, honestly, and it's okay. It's okay. I mean, like, I think my art is pretty nice, and I still have to rely heavily on sketches to do anything. So I mean, like, more power to you if you don't. I mean, do. It's all about finding what personally like works for you in your style. I don't know. I can't teach you anything. If you're on this channel, I don't think you're here to learn about art. I think you're here to laugh at us. Yeah, and so a lot of this, I think what helped me figure out what I like about this character is, honestly, I kind of went on TikTok, and I didn't copy any of the designs I saw, but I looked at a lot of cosplayers, and I looked at the energy, and I looked at, like, how other people were interpreting their, like, features, and I was just like, ooh, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, and I kind of turned it into my own. And so, like, something that I really liked was just, like, the cosplays I found of Susie, where they had this, like, very conventionally, like, thin and, I guess, air quotes, like, societally perfect body. It just didn't feel like Susie for me. And I think, like, regardless of what age they are, Susie needs to, at least in my, like, headcanon, them be, like, pretty big, especially because a lot of, what I guess makes them relatable to the story is how they come off in first appearances, and like how exactly they kind of intimidate everyone around them, so they just kind of fall into that. I really like that. I really like that about Susie. Something I really like about Deltarune as opposed to Undertale, though I do love Undertale and I don't fault Undertale for not having this, it's just like not. It got very lonely with Undertale. Like, you had characters that were friends, of course, but like I really like the party system. You just constantly had people around you. You had the sense that Kris was really loved and welcomed by everyone around them, and I like that. I really like that. I really like the opportunities that Toby Fox took with like character development in the story. It was really nice. So you can see here, I think originally this was supposed to be a sketch on top of that sketch, because I still didn't feel like I got to where I wanted it, but I believe I'm keeping this as the line art, because I, like, wanted to do very painterly characters, so yeah, but yeah, I went on TikTok, I looked at cosplayers, I looked at other artists, and I was just like, this is interpretations I like, and so I just kind of, like, did what I wanted to see, if that makes sense. I think a lot of art, what you're realizing art is that you're just kind of like, ooh, no one's drawn this, but I want this to exist. And so you're just doing it. So, like, if I want a really cute type of Deltarune fan art where Noelle is looking longingly at Susie, I'm gonna get that. And something that was funny is during my critique, my teacher actually thought that Noelle was staring at the axe that was about to drop and hit Rouse. And I was like, ooh, okay, so I know for the future that I want to work on, like, characters liking each other. I thought that was a really cute part of Deltarune, and it didn't feel, like, forced or pushy. It was so cute. So right now I'm going in, I'm color blocking with all the characters that I felt were their, like, base colors. And it's just because something I really like about Deltarune is how everything feels like it's kind of like luminescent. It's like glowing. It is appearing off the screen, and like not just because it's on a computer screen, but it's like literally like black light glowing. So I didn't want to shy away from those like really deep luminescent like colors that I just kind of layered with a chalky brush on top of, as you can see, because I kind of wanted to like bleed through a little bit. Yeah, and you know, Birdly. Huyan. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. Me and Ada on our free time played through Undertale and both Deltarune chapters because they didn't know what they didn't really like, they never really like, they didn't watch or anyone play Undertale before like me. It was so much fun coming up with like little voices for all the characters, and we kind of regret not filming it in any way because we felt like it would be a cool addition to the channel, honestly. So why don't you slap that like button like a boss and like really just like put in the comments how you'd feel if we posted like little video game stuff like that. I think we're about to play Omori, so we'd like to get opinions on how people feel about it before we make videos and embarrass ourselves. But it was like, honestly, like we talked about possibly replaying and doing the same thing except recording it this time. And as you can see here, I'm just kind of like rubbing stuff in with add and color dodge. I personally, and I will die on this hill, I personally like add better than color dodge. In a lot of cases, I think it's more appropriate for lighting. I think color dodge is like really fun when you're doing like some lightning effects, but I think for like regular like lighting, add can just be a little bit better. I don't know how to go on that other than like it just like doesn't do any like funky color combinations while you're trying to mess with it. So right now I'm just going in and adding drop shadows on all of the, I think that's what you call it, drop shadows, like texturizing shadows on the bodies and stuff like that to kind of shape them up a little bit. I think something I do like about my art is that it's very like flat, but I like to use my shadows to make it like seem less flat, or like feel like the cartoony stylization I give them kind of like makes sense in real world, if that makes sense. So like shadowing Susie's rippling pectorals and arms was a lot of fun. The fabric folds. I think Rouse was a lot of fun. I think Rouse is my favorite part of this drawing. I don't know why. I think it's like the way I done the sleeve. I'm really proud of it. I don't know. I just had a lot of fun kind of like going in and like blending and painting this out. And that's another thing. Blend tool is also OP. People that say blend tool is not OP don't know how to use it. Or nope, that's a bold claim. Should try it more, because I think for me color selection is kind of hard, and blending it out kind of like adds a lot to it, or can add like a lot of texture in a way that I like. And I hope that the blending doesn't look obscene in this, and you guys are just like, this is why I hate blending, but, you know, you live and you learn, and I got an A on my final, so the blending apparently did do what it was supposed to do. Yeah, Birdly, not to harsh on people that haven't played or are just here to see the art, which is very sweet. Birdly was a lot of fun. I really hope we see more of him as a character, and I sadly did neglect him quite a bit in this drawing, but it's because like it's just like I think my main focus was on Kris, Susie, and Rouse, because they are the front cover. As I said, the right side is the front, the left side is the back of the hypothetical comic that this would be from. And it was really fun just like imagining these characters and like thinking about it if it was a comic book. I'm taking a class for comics next semester, so I really hope in some way I can like learn a little bit and make my own little fun comics, whether with original characters or just like, I don't care, I'll make nerdy shit and post on Tumblr. It'll be fun. So right now I'm doing the backgrounds, and notoriously I am not great with backgrounds, and you'll see that I'm not entirely happy with how the background came out. I just felt like the characters in the background were very separated and not in a good way, and I wish that they were more conjoined. I really wish that they were more part of it, but I guess you live and you learn. and I would love to reattempt this in like a year or so. Maybe it'll be fun to do like a yearly redraw thing like that, like Drawing with Waffles does with their Rapunzel drawing. I don't know if they still do that. They were definitely a YouTuber I loved in middle schooler. Slap that like button like a boss and comment down below. Comment down below if Drawing with Waffles still does their Rapunzel drawings. Because, I'll figure that out myself. Probably the posting time between recording this and when it goes up is going to be quite a bit. But here I go adding the little stars, quote unquote, in the sky. And I'm just like trying to have fun with the background, even though it's very hard. I probably should have pushed for like the realism, or not it's definitely not realistic, but the same stylization as I did with the characters. But everything came out very like flat, and I was trying to do the simple thing, even though it didn't feel super simple. I wanted like this like glow to radiate up from the characters, and it just wasn't super giving what it was supposed to give. But I'm still proud of this piece nonetheless. I think, honestly, outside of, like, posting this on YouTube, looking back at your drawings and watching the speed paint and just, like, looking at your process is really good to learn the kind of artist you are. I personally, found out that I'm a very, like, layer and, like, effect-heavy artist. And, like, I don't know if I like that or not. Like, I like how it comes into play with pieces like this, but I also find that, like, being more traditional or, like, less liberal with the blending or, like, the lighting tools might help me when I'm trying to pick out, like, color picking. But also for the type of work I'm trying to go into, maybe, like, knowing and working on learning all the effects and learning all this, and the fact that I do this as a strong suit, which is really interesting to think about when you're trying to figure out your own stylization weaknesses and additives. Wow, it's really interesting to think how Ada's going to go with this. They're probably going to be talking way less than me because I'm just shot fire off the mouth right now. But I want to be interesting. And honestly, maybe I made the speed paint too fast for how long I spent on it, because this was my final. But, I mean, so I'm going to give you a little bit more to, like, ruminate on this piece. I'm very proud of it, but I'm going to list some critiques. Some critiques being that, like, yeah, the characters don't really look part of the setting, and there's no part of Deltarune that looks like this. Even in Castletown, it does not look like this. So it was definitely banking on the fact that my classmates hadn't really played the game. And maybe I should be more truthful with what's going on when I'm providing a piece, especially if I have an editor talking to me. Do I think this could pass as a comic cover? I mean, take your hand right now and cover the left side of the screen. If this was the front part of a comic book, would you get it? Now, cover the right side of the screen. If this is the back side of the comic book, would you get it? You'll get your answer. I don't want to say yes or no. I don't want to be that person that's, like, fishing for compliments. I'm just trying to relay critique on my own work. But yeah, I also do wish I paid more attention to the smaller details in the background. I said that. I think this kind of might have been overwhelming if I really texturized everything like I did with the characters, but I mean, if I pushed a little bit farther with the castle, I don't think I would have been super unhappy with it. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this piece, which is another thing. I think honestly fan art has this stigma that it's just like immature and not cool, but like all OC creation, story creation, comic creation, on some level you're going to be working in your own fan art for like years, and you're becoming a fan of your own work, and I honestly think for me, the reason why I found out that I like designing characters and working with other people and their stories is through fan art, where I like working with people and building off of people's suggestions rather than coming up with my own stuff. It's really hard to be original, and that really makes me super anxious with my work. But I am trying my best with this comics class. So that was my speed paint. Did you guys like it? Let me down below. Should we do more of these? let me down below. I'll be reading all the comments religiously, because I always do. I hope my support us comment from earlier didn't make anyone uncomfortable. I just want to provide ways for you to know that we're alive other than our YouTube channel. Maybe if this really kicks off the road and is something, me and Ada can make a Patreon and we could like post these sketches when subscribing, and that would help us, oh my god, buying us mics, which we desperately need. But you know what? For now, we're good on what we got, and we love you guys. So slap that like button like a boss. Top of the morning. Here's where you can find our previous video, and here's where you can find our channel, and there's a subscribe button. And I love you. Check under your bed. I might be there. Rich blessings out!